What the is this piece of shit?
You, bruh? You, bruh? Woo! If you know, you know! Hey! Yeah.
Oi.
Again, just like the last video, I've not played racing games for a while, until I picked up Need for Speed Unbound on EA Game Pass, on sale for the price of a bag of chips.
Hey, hold on, wait a second. What are these prices, man? What the hell?
You might notice buying everything for cheap is a trend on this channel. On an unrelated note, in other circles I'm more familiarly known as the Rat, and I owe somebody $200. To continue on the business, Need for Speed Unbound. What is it about? Borders? Books? Politics? Well, yes, but we'll get to that. At least according to the official EA webpage advertising the game, Need for Speed Unbound is about the celebration of street culture. And hey, I'm all for it. Since as a decrepit old fossil, at least on internet standards, I always try to broaden my horizons and learn new things. I did not know what an ASAP Rocky was, but I tried the game out with an open mindset. And I've got to admit, the game is a lot less bad than I originally had feared, due to the reviews it had. This doesn't mean I came out of the game happy either. The game was passable. But for every moment of fun in the game, there would be another thing that would cause an equal amount of dissatisfaction. Let me share with you the terrible things I've come to know.
LSPD, the biggest gang around.
The cops, they are everywhere, day and night, even on heat level 1. You'd think there's a presidential convoy going through town. Like, you can't get anywhere without them showing up. If you approach them from the front, you can quickly pass by them without getting spotted. Not so from behind, at least below an A-rank car. You'll be spending time either running from the cops, preventing you from starting a race, or driving at a snail's pace avoiding them. Why avoid them if cop chasing is the main attraction of Need for Speed, you may ask? Well, cops in this game aren't fun. They're an annoyance. This game has the most incompetent police pathfinding in any Need for Speed I've played. Cops are much more likelier to ram into innocent taxpayers than hitting you. They also are allergic to any forms of physical obstacles.
We ain't gonna take them out hitting like that.
Hit us up to zone for control.
And disintegrate in contact with water.
LSPD, motherfucker!
They will try to pit maneuver you, but as for formation driving, I've yet to see them employ any tactics that actually work, even once. I got into a 5-star chase in my A+ rated car. I expected it to be a tough fight, since 5 stars would imply the police would be throwing everyone.
Everyone?
Everyone!
Like in the old games. But no, the highest amount of cops I reached was 5 cars. Just 5! I escaped by driving forward on an open highway, and the cops crashed themselves generously into ongoing traffic and walls within a minute. And I got an achievement for escaping 5 stars in an A-ranked car. Like, bruh, I just pressed forward. I did nothing else. The only time I got arrested was because I played D&D and took my turn while tabbing out in a loading screen. and found out I got arrested in the middle of the day because the game has no auto-pause features. The cops don't feel like a threat, and you are not rewarded for fighting them at all, like in the previous games with separate game modes. They're piss easy to shake off, but because the map is flooded with them, like the gates of Helm's Deep, you'll be constantly forced into chases, which in the early game, in an untuned car, are impossible to beat, and prevent you from going after higher cash rewards, while in mid-game they turn trivial. Cops are also way harder to take seriously, since they keep cursing at you and keep talking unprofessionally on police radio.
Let's hunt and detain this lowlife. Do your job and get this punk.
Dispatch, Novo 3-5. In pursuit of a code 6 party. Suspect just ran my vehicle. Repeat, I just got ran. Trying to get a description. Hold on. How does this get away from me? Dispatch, I need a roadblock started.
That's a negative, Bravo 3-5. You're gonna have to stand by on that request. I've got multiple units detailed at this time on priority call.
Charlie 4. 1023, pursuit. Yes, left. We got it. Vehicle still mobile. Minimal damage.
The second thing, the music. I understand the ambition to focus on a single genre of music, since the ambition of the mix was to include artists from around the world, 25 countries to be exact. This to a limited degree works. Some rap and garage music is good and distinct. However, there's a problem. Since modern hip-hop and its subgenres are quite bass and drum heavy, it creates kind of a blending effect. Track instruments stop standing out, and you start to find distinguishing between tracks really hard, even if the track list is more than 70 songs long. You burn through them a lot quicker, because again, while there is a national variety, there is no genre variety. Thusly, in my opinion, the only few tracks that start to stand out are distinguished by how much they start to get on your nerves. To give credit, for me there were a few positive exceptions. Front to Back, because it was the only good traditional sounding EDM song, and Ice Creamer, because I slowly started to warm up to it over time. But for every Front to Back, there's some money. Every time this song played, it caused an immediate and visceral reaction. It made me continuously grit my teeth. As a side note, if you're wondering why I didn't play that song as an example, firstly, I'm preserving your ears and your sanity, and thus doing you a favor. Second, I don't want a Copyright Foundation funded hit squad to break down the freshly installed door to my apartment. No thanks. All jokes aside, I only have respect for the artists involved, since it must not be easy to be a part of a project as large as a Need for Speed game. However, what I'm saying is that if you're going for a distinctly Need for Speed soundtrack, then there should be perhaps a little bit of rock in there, you know? Maybe it's just not my cup of tea, but I can get the frustration some people had over the soundtrack. The third problem, the writing. Oh lord, the writing. You know that distinct, instinctive feeling of a flowing conversation. The sense when to joke, what kind of humor to use, the tone to which talk to your friends. Well, most of the dialogue represents the polar opposite of that feeling. It's all over the place. Some of the dialogue feels like an AI algorithm trying to mimic how the younger generations talk these days, trained primarily on stale memes. The narrative itself also brings up the topic of politics.
Power always corrupts. Mark my words, one day those at the bottom are gonna eat those at the top.
Yeah, I mean, I prefer my meals with a little more moral fiber.
which for a Need for Speed game is kind of clunky, since the franchise has been historically about breaking every single road safety law known to man. State officials bad, racers good, racers only victims. Yeah, I'd understand, if not for the fact that if the pedestrians didn't have superpowers to dodge my Ford F-150, I'd have coated the streets with enough blood to make the world eaters blush. And if we talk about ethics, don't even bring up the Need for Speed Hot Pursuit 2 police and their creative interpretations on the Geneva Convention and liberal usage of high explosives. As a final side note, since I'm from the middle of the forests, northeastern Europe, the cars youth out here have had are just rust pockets as old as the Cold War. The most expensive cars are generally only owned by enthusiasts and collectors well into their 30s and 40s. I'm not sure about America, but the image I get from the game is that a 20-year-old TikTok influencer can afford a Ferrari. On second thought, this might be true, but my mind refuses to register it as fact. This reality is truly getting too dystopian for my brain. Skill issue. Most drivers in the game come off as rich yuppies rather than real OGs. You know, the street engineers, tuning their cars with a budget of 23 yen and a roll of Jesus tape. The game itself has good ideas, like the art style and the street identity it goes for isn't a half bad idea. However, with all of its problems, it comes across to me as a random collection of ideas that a boardroom of executives threw together based on what they imagined an elusive specimen of today's youth might look like. Add on top of this the fact that most cars get filled with helium gas as soon as you press the nitros button, swerving the car constantly out of your control makes playing the game a pretty frustrating experience. Or I might be overinterpreting an arcade racing game. Yeah, that could be the case. Nevertheless, my personal opinion is mixed. Provide me proper mix-ups in the comments below. Enlighten me of your ways, how you think. Because I'm not the arbiter of truth, as much as I'd like to think so in my occasional delusions of grandeur. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm off to playing some children's card games. Until next time.